Hello, welcome back to our channel. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe the channel for getting new updates. In this video, we are going to learn one poem from the ICSE book of chapter 8, The Patriot. The 8th chapter of the poem, ICSE short collection of poems, we are going to learn the Patriot. The Patriot is a poem which is written by Robert Browning. So the poet of this poem is Robert Browning, and this poem is a monologue poem, as it is described by the Robert Browning about himself. So what was his feeling as a patriotism? He has described his own feelings in this poem. So this poem is a monologue poem. So let us learn this, what has happened in this poem and how to learn this poem in a proper way. Let us begin this. So first, it was roses, roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in path like a mad. The house roof seemed to heave and sway. The church spires flamed, such flags they had a year ago on this very day. So first of all, पहले लाइन में क्या है? What was he trying to say in the first line? It was roses, roses. मतलब कि all the way where he was going, everywhere it was filled with what? Roses, flowers everywhere. He is imagining, his imagination is very high. See what he was imagining, that 1 year ago on this day it was roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path. Myrtle means two meanings. First of all, what is the myrtle means? A shrub which has white flower, a shrub which has white flower, and also the myrtle meaning perfume. So maybe that roses will be put of perfume. The perfume smell was coming, mixed in my path like a mad, crazy. Mad here refers to crazy. The people were crazy to see this patriot person, and they were welcoming him in a grand way. So his welcome was done in a very grand way. That is only what he is explaining in these two lines. The house roof का मतलब पता है ना, छत, seemed to heave and sway. Heave and sway means it was seeming that the house roof itself is shaking, as the peoples were shouting, moving from here and there, or they were jumping. So it seems that the house roof itself is moving or shaking. The church spires. So what is the meaning of church spire? The pyramidal shape at the top of the tower of the church is built in a triangular shape, that is called the church spire. Flamed, such flags they had. So at the church spire there were many flags to welcome this patriot person. He is describing this in the following lines. A year ago on this very day, Cub, when it was happened a year ago on this day, the previous year. So finally 1 year has passed that he was welcomed with rose and roses all the way. Myrtle was mixed in his path. The house roof was seeming that it is shaking. The church spires were flamed off flags. So this is all what he described in the first paragraph or first stanza. So let us begin the second one. The air broke into a mist. Do you know what is the meaning of mist? Fog with bells. The old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. So the people were shouting in such a way that the old walls, पुराने दीवार जो थे, it was rocked with crowd people, where all the people were gathered in a place. It was crowded and all they were shouting. Had I said means if I had said, good fuck, merry noise ripples. So he's saying that if I have said anything, hello friends, they were shouting like champions, champions. So they are continuing to shout. All the crowds were shouting and welcoming him. But give me your son, what he is asking. If I had said that, give me your son. So son here refers to what? That yes, son, Suraj. We say no. So, but it son here refers to that if he is asking the most important thing from them. So what he is asking, even though if he asks the important, the things which is very precious for them, they are ready to give. See here, but give me your son from yonder, yonder meaning distant, yonder skies. They had answered. And afterward, what else? और क्या चाहिए? Anything else required? What else? So even though if he has asked the most important thing from them, to give their son from the skies, they will have answered, they have given, and they are asking, what else do you require? So second stanza, what we have seen, the air broke, हवा जो क्या था, mist with bells, sounds, fog. Okay, the old walls rocked with crowd and cries. They were shouting, champions, champions. Then he said, he's explaining in the three lines that if we had asked them anything from them, they were mad, they were crazy, they were in such a way that they are ready to give anything. Okay, go for the third paragraph. Alack, it was I who leaped at the sun. So here this story, this refers to one story where the father and son were caught in a cage, and they were art craft, and they made which, from which they can fly and move out of the cage. So what the father has told to the son that, um, you have to not fly so high at the limit. He has क्या लिमिट दिया था कि हाँ, इसके ऊपर नहीं जाना, and especially when it will go towards the sun. And what was the ना, ये feather जो था wax से बना हुआ था, it was made up of wax. So when the boy will go by flying towards the sun, near the sun, the wax will melt and his feather will destroy, and where he will fall down and die. So this was the instruction given by the father to the son, and they flied, उन लोग उड़ने लगा. So at the middle they were flying, but at the middle what happened, the son had enjoyed the flying more. They were flying like a bird very hard, they were enjoying. The son had got more enjoyment, and he has not obeyed his father's advice. He started to move upon, going higher and higher. Finally he reached at the sun place, near the region of the sun. And what happened, due to the high temperature heat of the sun, his wax melted. So the feather which was made of wax, it melted. And finally what happened, after it melts, his feathers gone away, his wings gone, he fall down in the river and died. So that is what means, he has done extra. The thing which has been told by his father, he has crossed that limit and has gone in his own way. So that is only left for here. That it was I, the Robert Browning, the poet patriot, is saying that it was I who leaped at the sun to give it to my loving friends to keep. So he's saying that I have done something enough which I could not do, which I for my loving friends to keep, not man could do have I left undone. So वो बोल रहा है कि हम कुछ भी नहीं छोड़े. I have not left anything which a man could, normal man could do. मतलब हम ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं छोड़े हैं जो एक इंसान कर सकता है. I have done everything for my people. Okay. एंड यू सी माई हार्वेस्ट, बोल रहा है कि अच्छा ठीक है, मैंने तो अभी सब अपने सभी दर्शकों के लिए या सभी लोगों के लिए बहुत कुछ किया. आई हैव डन एवरीथिंग व्हाट अ मैन शुड डू और कुल डू. एंड बट ही सेइंग दैट यू सी माई हार्वेस्ट, यू सी माई रिजल्ट, व्हाट आई रीप मीन्स व्हाट आई गेट. हमको क्या मिल रहा है उसके बदले में, इन रिटर्न व्हाट आई गेट. दिस वेरी डे नाउ अ ईयर इज रन. So he's saying that this day, last year, so now 1 year has passed. So till now, up to the three stanza, he was talking about the past, imagining about the 1 year ago, previous year. But from the fourth, he is talking now at the present, what has changed and what he is going to be done. There is nobody on the housetop now. But at that time, what was that? The house roof was seeming that it is shaking, heave and sway. But now there is nobody on the housetops. Just a palisade few at the window seat. मतलब क्या ना कि इस समय क्या है, कोई नहीं है. No one is at the housetop. छत पे घर के ऊपर कोई नहीं है. Nothing. No one is there. Just only a palisade, paralyzed people. पैरालिसिस अफेक्टेड पीपल जो हैं वो भी सिट एट द विंडो, मतलब कि उन्हें भी हटाने के लिए किसी आदमी की ज़रूरत है. इट सीम्स दैट दे हैव बीन सेट द विंडोज एंड दे कैन नॉट मूव. They are just at a permanent place. For the best of the sight is all alone. मतलब क्या ना कि here it is saying that the people are now trying to get the vision, best vision to see this man death. This man, ये कहाँ जा रहा है अभी? This patriot is being taken for hanging, for death. Now he is going to die for the misdeed he has done. So he is saying that the people, the same people, are not on the housetops to welcome him, but the people are not going to see the best view of this person to be dying. Okay, next. At the Sambas gate means the gate from where the people were seeing him dying. They were wishing, they were waiting that when this patriot will die, and they were very much eagerly waiting for his death. At this Sambas gate from where they can get clear view of his death, or better yet, by the very scaffold's foot I true. A scaffold's foot means this है ना, एक इंसान को both his hand will be tied at the back with the rope, and his body head will be put front, and one blade, sharp blade will come from up, and it will be there at the neck. It will cut the board, head will come out and he will die. गर्दन काट जाता ना वैसे. So they are seeming that if I sit at that place, I can be the first to see this person's head being cut in. मतलब कि उसका मौत देखने का लिए सबको क्या था, बेकरार. They are waiting, they are eagerly waiting for his death. So now for the fifth stanza, I go in the rain. Rain here what refers to? Rain has a good symbol that his God is giving him blessing by this. I go in the rain. Rain has started to fall, and more than needs. More than needs means people are dissatisfied more. Means people are who welcomed him 1 year ago are now dissatisfied. उससे बहुत नार. They wanted to see his there more than he expect or needs. More than he needs मतलब जितना रिक्वायरमेंट है और जितना ज़रूरत उससे भी ज़्यादा लोग मतलब इससे क्या है, नाराज गुस्सा है. They want to see his death. A rope cuts मतलब ना, more than needs means his hand is tied very hard, very tightly with the rope. जो ज़रूरत नहीं था उतना, मतलब नॉर्मली फॉर वाट द रोप हैंड इज टाइड विद द रोप सो दैट द पर्सन विल नॉट मूव एस्केप फ्रॉम द. बट हियर इट इज टाइड मूव वेरी हार्ड. मतलब कि कठोर दिल, पत्थर, हार्ड हार्टेड पर्सन. A rope cuts both my wrist behind. It is tied in such a way that it is cutting his wrist. And I think by the feel, my forehead bleeds. Forehead bleed मतलब सर से खून निकल रहा है. Blood is coming out from the head, forehead. For they fling. Fling means they are throwing stones, rock at his mind, at his head, forehead. Whoever has a mind means the people who are dissatisfied or very much angry on him, they are throwing rocks. The people who has mind. Stones at me for my years misdeeds. Now the patriot is accepting, yeah, they are throwing stones at me for what? For his years misdeed, for something misdeed wrong he has done. For that they are giving him punishment. Now the sixth last stanza of this poem. Thus I entered and thus I go. So he is imagining now how I was coming, how I came 1 year previous year. Thus I entered in such a grand way. He was welcomed by all the people, all the crowd shouting, cheering, and thus I go. And now he is going with the same crowd around him, but now they are eagerly waiting for his death. In triumphs, victory. Triumphs means victory. People have dropped down dead, paid by the world. What does the owe? He is saying that what the misdeed he has done, what the wrong he has done, he is paid by the world. The world has given him punishment. He has received by the world. Me, oh me, God might question now instead. He is asking to the God that all the people has paid what he has done. He has been paid by the world. So God might question now instead. This is what God shall repay. I am safe for so. So what he is that I am he may go to heaven, thus he will be with the God away from these people for what he has done for all the people and what the result he is getting from the people. So this was the poem of a patriot. Two things are being mentioned here: the 1 year ago and on after 1 year. So 1 year ago he was welcomed in a grand way by all the crowds, cheering, praising him, shouting. The they were sitting at the house roofs and it seemed that it is moving. But after 1 year, before 1 year, they were ready to give whatever he asked from them. But after 1 year, at this day, they were waiting there, going for the best view of his death, and they want his death. So this is what the poem of a patriot monologue poem. Thank you for listening.